Geoffrey here. In this video, I'm going to show you the key paradigm shifts that you need to start adopting if you're trying to save your relationship or your marriage by yourself because your wife or your partner is in a position where she has lost all hope and has really given up and checked out in the relationship. And I really want you to stick around to the very end of this video because what I'm about to say in this video will contradict a lot of what other videos and other coaches will tell you on what to actually do in this scenario. And it's also going to contradict a lot of what you think you should do in this scenario as well. And in this video, I'm going to be very, very real to you on what it really takes to save your marriage alone. And if you're new to this channel, my name is Geoffrey and I help men in long-term relationships and marriages with the right skills, with the right mindsets to be able to design thriving relationships for themselves. So if you want more content that can help you in your relationship, I want you to subscribe to this channel and click the bell button as well to be notified when I post new videos every single week. Now, before we begin, I want to quickly let you know that the registration for the masterclass and the 5 proven steps to rebuilding your relationship is still open. So if you're interested in joining that masterclass, be sure to stick around till the very end of this video for the announcement on that masterclass. So before we get to the meat of this video, I want to go through some basics so that what I'm about to say next will make a lot more sense. And I'm sure if you watch a lot of my videos, you will have heard some of these basics before. But the first one is the basics of the importance of paradigms here. So I want you to see here that your paradigms are literally everything. They govern everything in your relationship, and whether your relationship is successful or not is really determined by your paradigms about your relationship, how you see your relationship. So your paradigms, or the way you think about the relationship, will govern your interpretations. It will govern the interpretations you have about the events in your relationship. Your interpretations then will govern your emotions, and your emotions will govern your actions, and your actions will ultimately govern your outcome. And I'll use this framework to explain to you how this relates to this topic. And if this sounds vague to you because this is the first time you're watching my video, then as I give more examples throughout this video, this will make a lot more sense later on. The second basic that I want you to understand here is this concept of a catch-22. The catch-22 that your partner is in. And this catch-22 here really defines why your partner has given up, why she has lost hope, and why she is checked out on the relationship and doesn't want to be a part of saving this relationship with you. And the catch-22 goes like this. 1, if she shares things with you, she knows that she will lose because the conversation is not going to end well. She will know that you either justify yourself, you will try to correct her and tell her what she feels or what her interpretations are is wrong. You might lose hope and get all angry. You might try to logically convince your partner to feel other ways. So she might tell you, for example, I want a divorce, and you tell her, no, here's all the reasons why you can't get a divorce, or you shouldn't get a divorce, why you should stay. You will shift the blame on her. So you might say, oh, this is your fault. This is you wanting a divorce. How can you walk away like this? Or you might say a lot of things to make promises, to make assurances of, you know what, the future will be better, but really doesn't get better. So if you do all these things, what you're telling your partner here is that whenever she expresses something to you, whatever you do, you're not going to understand what she actually feels, what the actual root of the problem actually is, or why she feels hopeless in the first place. In fact, you will do anything to say the right things, to make promises, to make assurances, but really, you don't really back it up with actions. And you can't back it up with your actions, with your real changes, because you didn't even dig deep enough to even understand what her real problem is, what the actual problem is. So she will lose if she shares, but she will also lose if she doesn't share, because if she doesn't share, then nothing will get resolved. So nothing will get fixed. So the reason why your partner is feeling so hopeless right now is because of that catch-22. She will lose either step she takes. And she's probably grappled with this for a very long time to the point where now she's saying, you know what, there's no hope. There's really no hope. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm getting out of here. So when a lot of people are dealing with a partner who's checked out, who feels hopeless, a lot of people have the paradigm of what I call the follower's paradigm. This is the loser's paradigm, really. And you will see a lot of these paradigms showing up in a lot of YouTube comments, a lot of Facebook comments, a lot of videos even, and from your friends, from your family. And you might even be having a lot of the same thoughts yourself as well. So what are the followers' paradigms here? There are 3 very common ones. There's a lot more than these 3, but these 3 are the most common ones. One is the it takes 2 to tango and I can't save a marriage by myself kind of paradigm. So these are the people basically who say that, you know what, if this relationship is going to work, it's going to require effort from both of us. That I can want to save my relationship all day long, but if my partner feels hopeless and she doesn't want to be a part of it, then nothing really I can do. My relationship is doomed. And so if this is your paradigm, this is how you see a relationship. When you see your partner losing hope, you're going to emotionally lose hope as well. You're going to feel defeated. You're going to feel powerless because there's really nothing you can do. And if that's your interpretation and if that's your emotion, then your action will be very, very clear. Your action will be you'll most likely do nothing. You'll most likely just complain. You'll most likely just vent on Facebook groups and to your friends and so on. And you most likely simply wait, play this waiting game, and you wait for your partner to take the first move. And your justification for why you don't do anything here is because, well, if this relationship falls apart, it's really my partner's fault. She's the one who's not wanting to work on the relationship. Or if you do something, the thing that you do is most likely going to be quite needy and not really useful anyway. Because a lot of times when we have this paradigm, the question that we ask is, how do I convince my partner to want to go to counseling, to want to go to work on the relationship, to want to talk about her problems? How can I convince her of that? If that's the question you're asking, you're really asking the wrong question, because this question is always guided by desperation. It's guided by neediness because you're trying to get that outcome of your partner wanting to work on the relationship immediately. And as we'll talk about later, this will actually push her further away from you than actually making her want to work on the relationship with you. The second followers paradigm that I often see is the paradigm of, if my wife has checked out, if my partner has checked out, then really it's not worth it. I need to look for someone who actually wants me. So the spirit behind this is really someone playing the high value man card. It's, if you don't appreciate me, I don't appreciate you. This is not worth it. I'm gonna look somewhere else for people who actually appreciates me. If that's your interpretation, if that's your paradigm, then your emotion is going to make you feel angry. It's going to make you feel bitter at your partner because you're going to think, oh, she doesn't appreciate me, screw her. I deserve better. So if that's what you think, if that's your emotion, your action is naturally going to be, you walk away in this huff and a puff and you think you're this high value man who deserves better. And you basically tell your partner, hey, the reason why we're divorcing, the reason why the relationship is breaking down is really your fault. You don't appreciate me. You don't appreciate me enough to even work on this relationship. I deserve better. The last followers paradigm here is the people that ask, why am I the one that has to turn this around? Why am I the one that has to do all the work? So if that's your paradigm, if that's how you interpret your world, then your emotion will always be that of anger and hopelessness and powerlessness at the fact that this is going to be a one-sided journey. And if that's your interpretation, that's your emotion, your action is naturally going to be either you do nothing, you feel powerless and you feel hopeless, you vent, you complain to the world about the fact that, oh, why do I have to do all the work? And you most likely play this card of waiting for your partner again and basically justifying that action by saying, look, it's my partner's fault. They're the ones not wanting to work on the relationship. I do, but she doesn't. And again, if you do something, what you're going to do is simply to ask the question of, how can I get and convince my partner to want to work on the relationship? But again, if you're asking that question, you're going to get the wrong answers. So I want you to understand here how these three paradigms and how these actions that are created from these paradigms create even more hopelessness in your partner's side. So what you need to understand here is that when your partner tells you she feels hopeless, she has given up, I want you to see that as an honest expression in itself. Her telling you, I don't have any hope, is actually the beginning of her wanting to work on the relationship, but you just don't recognize it. Because if you really look within what she's really saying there, you can find a lot of clarity and answers. She's basically telling you, the way things are going, I don't think there's a future. She might be telling you that she has tried everything on her side to make it work, but nothing has worked because maybe you're too stubborn to see what she has done so far. Maybe it's her telling you that she feels the catch-22 that we talked about earlier in this video very, very strongly, that she doesn't know where to step. It might be her telling you that she doesn't really trust that you can change, that even if she expresses the problems, that even if she works on the relationship, she doesn't really trust that you are capable of changing yourself to actually make and follow through on the win-win. Maybe it's her telling you that she actually wants you to take charge because she is tired, she's exhausted, she's tried everything, but nothing seems to work. So she's now waiting on you to make the next move, to take the leadership. But a lot of people can never get these messages because they're too busy having the wrong paradigms and getting upset and angry, feeling hopeless, feeling powerless because they have the wrong paradigms. So again, if you have any of these paradigms, you're going to be too busy doing nothing. You're going to be too busy complaining and venting about how this is all your partner's fault and justifying to yourself about how this is all your partner's fault. Basically, if you do any of these things that we talked about, you're going to perpetuate a lot of these hopelessness. And you're going to make it easier for her to say, you know what, I knew there wasn't a future. I knew it was hopeless. Because one, this guy has no answers for himself. I don't have any answers. He doesn't have any answers. Nobody has answers. Not only does this guy not have the answers, he doesn't even have to process, understand how to actually converse with me, to discover with me, have the right mindset to even discover the answers. This guy really doesn't understand that there are some real difficult problems here beyond just me trying to be difficult and walk away. That this guy doesn't really see that how much I've tried to work on the relationship, and he thinks I'm the one that's wrong and he's the one that's right because I have given up. But it really doesn't see why I've given up. Basically, your partner's gonna say, you know, I've given up, I feel hopeless. And if he feels hopeless and he gives up, then there's really no hope. So here's the crux of everything. If your partner is feeling hopeless right now, and your partner feeling hopeless makes you feel hopeless and do nothing, then yes, nothing is gonna happen. And your relationship is gonna be doomed forever. So if you have any of these follower mindsets, you're doomed. You can never fix and rebuild your relationship by yourself if you have any of these mindsets. No way. And if you have attended my masterclass, you will know this very well in that you're always either perpetuating a cycle, a feedback loop, or you're breaking it, whether you know it or not. So even if you're consciously trying to give up and do nothing, even doing nothing, you are perpetuating or breaking a cycle. So I want you to know that even today, this very second, you're still perpetuating a cycle where, again, your partner feeling hopeless makes you hopeless. You being hopeless makes your partner hopeless. Then your partner being even more hopeless makes you even more hopeless. And the cycle keeps going on. But if your partner is hopeless and you choose to be hopeful, then that's you giving yourself a chance to actually break that cycle. So I want you to understand here that what you do, how you respond, actually matters more than you think. You're actually more powerful than you think in creating and designing a thriving relationship. That what you do actually matters, that it doesn't always take two to tango. So I want to show you here the mindset of followers versus the mindset of leaders. So if you look at the follower mindsets, a follower joins in the hopelessness when everyone is hopeless. So they see everyone feeling hopeless, they say, oh, everyone's feeling hopeless, I'm gonna feel hopeless too. There's really no hope because everyone feels hopeless. The follower joins the chaos when things are chaotic. When things are chaotic, everyone's complaining, everyone's venting, everyone's being upset. They complain, they vent, they get upset, and they join in the chaos. They contribute to the chaos. A follower doesn't take action when no one takes action. So followers, when they see, okay, no one's really taking action, my partner is not really taking action, no one is really taking action, why should I take action? That's a follower mindset. And a follower cannot see potential when others do not see potential. So again, a follower mindset will go, my partner doesn't see the potential in us in the relationship, I don't see the potential then. So I want you to think about all these follower mindsets and contrast this with a leader mindset. A leader inspires hope and inspires positivity when everyone else feels hopeless. You know, if you have a company, if you have a captain of a ship and he feels hopeless whenever his crew members feel hopeless, then he's not a very good captain. He's not a very good leader. But a good leader by definition is someone who can inspire hope and positivity when their followers have lost hope. A leader restores order even when everything is chaotic. So a leader looks at chaos, doesn't join in the chaos, he looks at the chaos and says, how can we bring order back again? That's the sign of a good leader. And a good leader takes actions even though no one is taking actions. That's the whole point of being a leader, is to be the first one to take action. And so people follow you, follow your actions. And a leader sees the potential in people, in things, and in circumstances when no one sees the potential. That's the hallmark of a leader, is the leader understands and can see, can spot potential. So the cold hard truth is that if your partner is wanting to give up on the relationship, you cannot afford to have any follower mindsets. You cannot afford to become a follower. You have to become a leader, because when you become a leader, you are in a stronger position now to actually reverse the feedback loop and turn things around yourself, as we talked about earlier, to break the negative cycle that you're in. And because the leader thinks differently, because he operates from a completely different paradigm here, they will naturally take better actions that lead to better outcomes. And this is usually the case. And most of my students who become leaders, they become this strong leader who can actually break that negative cycle in the relationship and actually save that relationship alone. But it starts with adopting the right paradigms. So if you have the leader mindset and you see your partner checking out and being hopeless and giving up, you're going to think, okay, I can see my partner's feeling hopeless. I can see she doesn't see a future. But instead of giving up, he's going to go, that's okay. Let's change it. The whole point of me being a leader is I'm in a position of power to change it. And if that's your interpretation, then your emotions will be a lot more hopeful, a lot more positive, and a lot more just driven. And if you are operating from this hopeful and positive emotion, your decision is going to be different as well. And usually the leader's decision is, let me listen and discover as to what the problems actually are here. Let me just discover and be a good leader by discovering the problems. And let me seek answers to what I can do better, what culture that I can create better, what changes I can make. And let me find win-win solutions for the both of us, and let me change myself and the culture of this relationship so that you no longer feel hopeless. And usually when you have this mindset, when you have this action, you will find many, many good answers that can actually allow you to reverse this cycle. And you can restore hope even though people have lost hope, even though your partner has lost hope. You can create positive changes when things seem chaotic, and you can restore trust in other people as you do this, and you do this consistently. As you show your partner that you are actually indeed a leader. Now, when you think about this leader mindset, I want you to really embrace the identity of a leader, because I think a lot of people understand the spirit of what I'm talking about here, the spirit, the main gist of what I'm saying about being a leader. But I don't think many people really understand what it really takes to become a leader. For example, here are two questions that might be in your mind right now that are in a lot of people's minds. One is, Jeff, I get I'm supposed to do this. I get I'm supposed to be a leader that creates change. But honestly, Jeff, doing this is so hard. It takes so much energy. Why should I be the one doing this? At some point, do I want her to come back and do her part? If this is the question you're asking, then you're completely missing the point of what it actually means to be a leader. So here's a quote I want you to think about. If you want to live like the 1%, then you have to be willing to do what the 99% would not. So if you're telling me, I want the outcomes of a leader, I want the power and freedom and to save my relationship like a leader, but I don't actually want to do the work of a leader. I don't actually want to do the hard part of becoming a leader. You got to stop kidding yourself. Because if you're saying that you don't want to do the hard work of what it takes to be a leader, then you're also saying that you don't want to be a leader, that you don't want to save your relationship alone, that you can't save your relationship alone. If you want success, if you want to accomplish something, you also have to accept the fact that to get there, there's a lot of ugly sides that go with it. There's a lot of responsibility that goes with it. So again, if you're saying, I want to save my relationship myself, you're also saying, I want to take on the responsibility and the work involved in actually doing this, in making this happen and becoming a leader. But if you're saying, I don't want the responsibility, I don't want the work, then you're also saying, I don't want this relationship. I don't want to save this relationship by myself. So you can't have the cake and eat it too. You can't have it both ways. You have to accept the responsibility of actually becoming a leader if you want to save your relationship. And the second thing people ask is, okay, what if I become a leader, Jeff, and she doesn't come back to me? What if it doesn't work? What if she doesn't follow me at the end of the day? Again, if you're asking this also, you're also missing the whole point of what a leader actually does and what a leader actually is. So if you're asking this question, what you're really saying is, I want to have my wife come back to me first before I'm willing to embrace this leadership mindset. Or I want to guarantee that my wife will come back to me first before I'm willing to do the work in becoming a leader. Basically, you're saying, Jeff, I don't mind becoming a leader, but I want followers first, or I want a guarantee of followers. But if you're saying that, that's kind of a wonky approach to understanding what a leader actually is. Real leaders do not become leaders only when there's followers, because there's followers. Because here's the chicken and the egg problem. If he needs to have followers first to become a leader, then nobody will actually follow that person in the first place because he's not a leader to begin with. If you really think about it, real leaders become real leaders first, without the outcome, without the followers, without even a guarantee. And only when you can embrace the status, the mindset of being a leader, regardless of the outcome, then the followers come. So you actually have to become the leader first before expecting the outcome, before expecting any followers from why following you. Because that is actually how you get the followers in the first place. You actually have to become a leader in the first place. So don't get this mixed up. If you're waiting for your partner to see you as a leader, if you're waiting for a guarantee of an outcome that your partner will follow you, before you are willing and wanting to think and act like a leader, then just by doing that, you're telling me, you're telling yourself, and you're telling your partner that really you're not a leader. And ironically, if you're still asking this question of like you want to guarantee an outcome before you can become a leader, then you can never get your relationship back, because your partner will never see you as a leader, and there's no way you can inspire hope, you can inspire positivity, you can inspire change for your partner to come back. So again, becoming a leader is a state of being. You need to become a leader because that's who you are regardless of the outcome. And ironically, when you reach the state of actually becoming a leader without expecting followers, without expecting your partner to come back, that's when your partner will come back, because that's when you're actually being a leader. That's when you're actually inspiring hope, positivity, and change. And that's when your partner will actually feel and see your leadership and want to be reattracted to your relationship. So this is very, very paradoxical, quite a mind bender. So take a moment to really understand what it really means to become a leader here. That if you're still asking all these wrong questions of how do I get my partner back before you're willing to commit to actually being a leader, then really you're not being a leader whatsoever. But once you internally embrace of what it really takes to become a leader, that's when change will start to happen. That's when you can have the power to actually turn your relationship around. And it starts again with changing your paradigms of becoming a leader, not a follower. So if you want to take the next steps forward in learning the processes to actually become a strong leader in your relationship, in life in general, and actually begin to adopt the right mindsets, the right paradigms, the right frameworks to lead the rebuilding of the relationship by yourself, I want you to know that this is something we deal with every single day in a relationship revival program. So if you want to explore the process that we take in our program, then I want you to join the masterclass I have for you on the 5 proven steps to rebuilding your relationship from the ground up. And at the end of the masterclass, you will also have the opportunity to apply for the program if that program is something that interests you right now. So if this masterclass or this program sounds like something you want to explore, then click the link above my head or also down in the comments below or in the description box below this video as well. And if you're looking for a guide that can allow you to lead conversations better in your relationship, and conversations that never ever leads to an argument and always leads to deeper understanding and win-wins, then I want you to download the guide I have for you above my head or also down below this video as well. And if you're trying to join a community of people where you can post your questions, get support on your issues or the difficult times that you're facing right now, then I want you to join my Facebook group as well, and the link to that Facebook group is down below this video. In the meantime, do leave a comment below on what you found most insightful, any questions you have, any comments you have about this video. I'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment below. And if you found this video valuable and was eye-opening for you, then I want you to like it, subscribe to this channel for more content like this one. For now, I'll leave you with these 2 other videos here to give you more mindsets, more knowledge around how you can design a thriving relationship for yourself. And with that, I will see you in the next video.